Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View in this afternoon version of the Celtic News. Well, what a day it's been. This afternoon, Matt O'Reilly, if you were going to believe the media, Matt O'Reilly was going to go to Inter Milan on loan until the end of the season with an option to buy. Come on. As if Celtic would let one of their best players go out on loan with an option to buy. Are they having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? Anyway, Brendan Rodgers isn't worried about letting Matt O'Reilly go anywhere because he's absolutely refuted the fact that he's not for sale. He didn't come out and say that. Come on, Brendan's never going to go and say that, especially when Lawwells are in the house. Anyway, Brendan Rodgers claimed there's absolutely no fear of Matt O'Reilly being sold imminently. I hate it when they say that imminently. It might not be sold at this window, but if they come in with 25 million at the next window, ta-da, son. Anyway, the Italian giants had reportedly been circling Matt O'Reilly for his signature. The Danish international, who was born in England, who sounds English, but he's Danish. Anyway, we'll move on for that. Under the current boss, he's notched up quite a lot of goals and quite a lot of assists this season. Matt O'Reilly, he said, it's fantastic for the player. It is fantastic for the player. And when you achieve everything that you set out to at the start of the season, he's probably achieved some more of what his objectives were towards the end of the season. He's going to get admirers. He's going to get admirers. And that's all part and parcel of the game. You're going to get admirers and you're going to have teams looking at your players. It's part of it. Mark Benstead of Sky Sports earlier in the afternoon said that he was steadfast in his view that we need to bring in more quality. Celtic needs to bring in more quality rather than take it away. He strongly rebuted the fact that Matt O'Reilly was going to go into anywhere and said that Inter Milan, Aston Villa, Atletico Madrid, whom have all sort of seen Matt O'Reilly, and especially in the Champions League, people are starting to notice him. Rodgers knows himself that it's going to be a natural cycle. The players will leave the club. The man that came in from MK Dons will be sold from Celtic at some point, but I have suggested that he will be here next season. Don't mark my words on it, but I've got a funny feeling he will not be sold in this window. Not a jot. I think he'll be here another season at least with Celtic, and then Celtic will cash in on the player. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. There's no way Celtic want to build around the likes of Matt O'Reilly, who's still at a young age. You know, you could follow the footsteps of likes of Edward and Musa Dombelli. You could leave Celtic Park for high fees and then just not going to do enough in football. I don't think Matt O'Reilly is like that. I think he wants to try and play at the very top, and to do that, he has to be consistent in the Champions League. So that's what makes me think he's still going to be here next season for another crack at the Champions League when we win the league at the end of the season. Anyway, tell me what you think about Brendan Rodgers saying that he is going nowhere. When you look at it, Matt O'Reilly is a fantastic player for us. He's going to end up going to Celtic one day, but Brendan Rodgers has no fears of the player going at the next window. He did say he was delighted for Matt. It's a fantastic step forward as a Celtic player. It shows his focus and the mentality that he's bringing into games and on the training pitch. He will always attract interest from other teams, but I don't have any fear of him going anywhere imminently. When you always play good, you're going to gain interest from other teams. Brendan Rodgers was also asked about the Green Brigade. The story that broke last night that the Green Brigades are back for the game tomorrow, which was fantastic for the players, in my opinion. And Brendan Rodgers was asked if not having the Green Brigade in for the last couple of months has affected the players. And he said no. He said, look, there's still 60,000 people in the stadium. It's up to everyone in the stadium to help push the team on. I tend not to look at what's happening in the stadium. I tend to look at what's happening with the players and the fact that the players aren't performing. He says, however, the bitter feud between the club seems to have sort of been sorted itself out. The issues between both parties have been resolved to a certain extent. And Rodgers said there will be a strong atmosphere. And he said the history of Celtic is littered with late goals. Being a big part of it is down to the fans. The whole stadium getting behind the team. Everyone knows the whole stadium hasn't been getting behind the team over the last couple of weeks. The atmosphere has been terrible, and don't deny it. No one can deny it. You get a lot of people coming on and saying, bugger, you don't need the Green Brigade. We don't want them. We don't want their politics. We don't want their songs. Yeah, but over the last 2 months, the atmosphere has been terrible. So stand up and be counted, Celtic fans. Stand up and be counted. Anyway, we move on. The manager says, look, the supporters and the players are all on the same page. It's a real force. But we know when there's an atmosphere, when it's white hot at Celtic, it makes it a really difficult place to come. It gives the players an extra edge. I've been saying that for weeks, and I was so emphatic about it that we had to, even if the Green Brigade weren't in this weekend, everyone within the stadium had to get behind the team and help push this team forward. They give an ambience in that corner, said Brendan Rodgers. The club gave them that opportunity for the first safe standing place in Britain. Hopefully they can get back tomorrow and support the team. It's their responsibility, as well as the whole stadium, to get behind the team and help us get that result. You notice he said the whole stadium needs to get back and get behind the team also. Brendan Rodgers then was asked some other silly questions, but we're going for that. He was talking about players who were out injured. It was interesting to see that the one and only Liel Abada is back on the training pitch, he's back on the grass, and he's back running with the medical team. I don't think you're going to see him this side of the winter window, unfortunately. We thought we would get Liel Abada back before the Rangers game, but it doesn't look like it, unless Brendan Rodgers is keeping a little sneaky one up his sleeve before that game. But I don't think he's that really intelligent enough to do that, do you? Anyway, especially with the way that we've been playing the last couple of weeks. But it'll be interesting to see if he was to pull Liel Abada out his sleeve the day before and give him a run out in the team at home. That would be really interesting. It would be really interesting. When you look at the players that have been out injured, it's a good time to get some of these players back and, just move on from that. So with that being said, that is it for your Celtic news this afternoon. Welcome to all the new subscribers, and thank you for helping get the channel out there to as many Celtic supporters as possible. And on that note, I'll see you in the next Celtic news. Lit. Roll up to the